You drop your toddler at Grandma's house. You come back 4 hours later. Grandma says, "Oh, they were perfect. No fuss at all. We had the best time." And you smile, and you say, "That's wonderful." And inside, you are furious, because last night that same child screamed for 45 minutes because you put the wrong color cup on the table. Here's what I need you to hear today. That is not a discipline problem. That is not a you problem. That is the most sophisticated compliment your child's nervous system has ever paid you. And today, ParentingIQ gives you the neuroscience that proves it. Before we go into the science, I need to say something to you directly. If your child melts down with you and nobody else, you have probably already asked yourself the question that no parent wants to ask. Am I doing something wrong? Maybe you've tried being calmer, being firmer, being more consistent, more patient, and it keeps happening, only with you. I want you to hear this clearly. That meltdown is not evidence of your failure as a parent. It is evidence of the safest attachment bond your child has ever formed. Tell me in the comments, does your child hold it together all day at daycare and then completely fall apart the moment they see you? Just drop yes or no below, because what I'm about to explain will make complete sense of your entire week. To understand why this happens, we need to understand something that developmental psychologists have known for decades, but that almost nobody has ever translated into the language of real parenting. There is a concept called the safe relationship threshold. In cultures that understand attachment science deeply, Japan, Scandinavia, and interestingly, many indigenous parenting traditions, the child who falls apart with a primary caregiver is not considered a problem child. They are considered a securely attached child. Because here's what the research from Harvard Center on the Developing Child actually tells us. The child who saves their worst behavior for the person they trust most is doing exactly what a biologically healthy nervous system is designed to do. They are not manipulating you. They are choosing you. Let me show you exactly what is happening inside your toddler's brain from the moment they walk through your door. Think of your child's emotional regulation system like a pressure cooker. All day long, at daycare, at grandma's house, at preschool, that pressure cooker is sealed shut. Your child is holding everything in, every frustration, every small disappointment, every moment of sensory overwhelm, every time they wanted something and couldn't have it. They are not calm at daycare because daycare is better. They are suppressed at daycare because daycare is not safe enough to fall apart in. This is called containment behavior, and it is one of the most misunderstood mechanisms in toddler development. Here is the neuroscience. When your child is with a non-primary caregiver, their cortisol, the stress hormone, actually rises throughout the day. Studies from the University of California, Berkeley show cortisol levels in securely attached toddlers are measurably higher at daycare pickup than they were at drop-off. They were not relaxed. They were regulated by effort. Think of it like holding your breath underwater. You can do it for a while. You can look perfectly calm from the surface. But the moment you get to air, you exhale everything. You are the air. That moment when they walk through the door and immediately fall apart at your feet, that is not the beginning of the meltdown. That is the release of an 8-hour accumulation. Now here is the part that will genuinely surprise you. This release happens specifically with you because of a process called felt safety. The term comes from Dr. Dan Siegel's research at UCLA, and it describes the specific neurological state a child enters when they are in the presence of their primary attachment figure. Felt safety is not just emotional comfort, it is a biological shift. When your child sees your face, their parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and release system, literally activates. Heart rate drops, muscle tension releases, and the emotional content they have been storing all day finally has somewhere safe to go. So they go, completely. Tell me in the comments, what time of day does your toddler's biggest meltdown usually happen? I want you to look at that time and count backward to when they last saw you, because I think you are going to find something very specific. The protocol pillars. So what do you actually do with this information? 3 things, and none of them require you to become a different parent. Pillar 1, the transition window protocol. Here is what happens neurologically at the moment of reunion. When your child first sees you after a separation, the first 12 minutes are what researchers call the transition window. This is the highest risk period for meltdown escalation because your child's nervous system is simultaneously switching from suppression mode to release mode. Think of it like a pressure valve opening. If you try to close it, "Stop crying, you're fine," the pressure builds. If you let it open gradually, it regulates on its own. The one action you can take starting today: do not give instructions, make demands, or ask questions in the first 5 minutes of reunion. No, "How was your day?" No, "Go put your shoes away." Just presence. Get to their level, make eye contact, let the valve open. But here is the teaser, and this is the one that shocks most parents. Pillar 2 is about what you stop doing in that window that makes it dramatically shorter. Stay with me. Pillar 2, the co-regulation reset. Telling a dysregulated toddler to calm down is like telling someone who is drowning to swim harder. It is not wrong advice, it is biologically irrelevant advice. Because a dysregulated nervous system cannot self-regulate. It can only co-regulate, meaning it needs to borrow regulation from a regulated nervous system beside it. That nervous system is yours. Here is the science. When a parent maintains a slow heartbeat, a low vocal tone, and relaxed facial muscles within physical proximity of a dysregulated toddler, the child's mirror neuron system begins entraining toward the parent's state within 60 to 90 seconds. Think of it as tuning forks. When you place 2 tuning forks of different frequencies close together, the stronger one slowly pulls the weaker one into its rhythm. You are the stronger tuning fork, but only if you stay regulated. The one action starting today, before you respond to the meltdown, take one slow breath visible to your child, a breath they can see. That visible regulation is the signal their nervous system is waiting for. Pillar 3, the safety confirmation anchor. Once the storm begins to pass, and it will always pass, there is one specific phrase that accelerates reconnection and reduces the duration of future meltdowns by signaling to the child's nervous system that release is always available here. The phrase is 4 words. Say them quietly, at their level, after the peak of the meltdown has passed, not during. I've got you. Always. Not, "You're okay." Not, "Stop crying." Not, "Calm down." I've got you. Always. This phrase activates the orbitofrontal cortex, the region responsible for processing relational safety, and begins the neural pathway that your child will eventually use to self-regulate. You are literally building the circuit that will one day make these meltdowns shorter and shorter. I want you to think about that meltdown differently tonight, not as a failure, not as a behavior problem, not as something to fix or prevent. Think about it as your child's body doing the most trusting thing it knows how to do, choosing you as the place where it is safe enough to fall apart. That is not a burden. That is the deepest vote of confidence a 2-year-old nervous system can cast. The window when this co-regulation builds the most permanent neural architecture is between ages 2 and 5. Every time you stay regulated through their storm, you are laying down a neural pathway they will use for the rest of their lives. But that window moves. Tell me in the comments, how old is your toddler right now? Just their age. because based on that number, there is a specific part of this protocol that matters most for you today. The next time your toddler completely falls apart the moment they see you, remember what you now know. That meltdown is not a red flag. It is a love language. If this gave you something that finally makes sense, watch our next protocol immediately. Stop saying calm down. The neuroscience proves it makes meltdowns 300% worse, because what you discover there is the next piece of exactly this puzzle. New protocol every single week. At ParentingIQ, we don't raise children, we architect legacies.